when we introduce an essay, there's no set way to do it. In fact, there's no set way to write an essay. It's in as much as you have to be academic and there's a formal way of writing and you have to use certain kinds of vocabulary, um, there's no set way to write an essay. Everybody's going to come up with a different response. I can promise you that much. So let's have a couple ways of introducing the essay. Now, one classic way of doing it is to introduce the essay with a story. So this example is from the winner of last year's John Locke essay competition in the history section. And what they've done is they've begun the question, which was, should we judge those from the past by the standards of today? How will historians in the future judge us? They've begun the question as such. Chateaubriand, writing in the aftermath of the July Revolution, claimed that judging history impartially can only be achieved from posterity. 1830s France was a place of great turbulence and upheaval, and thus it is easy to appreciate why Chateaubriand wished to escape the present. I thought this was actually a fantastic way to begin his essay. If you look at other examples, for example, last year's second place in the theology section, they also told a story, but maybe the story that they told was far too long. And it can be tempting to just get lost in telling a story when you introduce an essay like that, especially if you've got a very complex story to tell. However, this student didn't fall into that trap. They chose to essentially give the context to a quote which was very germane to responding to the question. And it just sets off the essay in a nice way. It shows that you're about to write quite creatively and quite interestingly. So it gives the examiner a subconscious indicator of what you're like as a writer. And it also, in this example, shows some wit as well. It makes a point in response to the question. So, especially the question, should we judge those from the past by the standards of today? It's a should question. It's asking what's the best practice. And the author of this essay responds to it with an example of a famous figure and what they think about this. So they took the famous figure being Chateaubriand, claimed that judging history impartially is something you can only do from posterity. So you can see how they're beginning to answer the question already. So if you want to tell a story, then make sure you tell it succinctly and you tell it well. It's a skillful thing to do.